Alright YouTube, so we are back of course to talk about some Final Fantasy VII Remake. Sort of. It's definitely part of the conversation, but we're looking back at the Nvidia GeForce Now leak that happened, like a month or so ago. We've done a couple videos about it here on the channel. There's been another recent leak, and this time with a lot of the games that were on that list, 18,000 plus games or whatever, we actually have some release dates. And of course one of those games is Remake, and in this case it'd be specifically the PC port of Remake, and I'm assuming if there's an Xbox version, which I believe there will be, it'd probably come out around the same time, if not the same time. I've seen some people talk about this already, and some people thought that like seeing FF7R on this list and a release date was talking about Part 2. That's clearly not the case. It doesn't even really need further explanation beyond that, but some of these release dates are within a year from right now. Specifically, Remake on this list is June of next year, which is like, what, 7 months away at this point? Clearly, that wouldn't be referencing Part 2. That has like no build-up or anything, or no marketing. We haven't seen anything from that game yet. But of course, there's other big games on this list, one of them being one we've talked about because of this leak before, and that's Final Fantasy IX Remake. But also stuff like Elder Scrolls 6, Starfield, Gears of War 6, and among other things. So let's hop right into this tweet from earlier today, because I believe Okami13 was the one that broke this story earlier. It says, "We have just gotten Nvidia GeForce Leak 2.0, this time with dates. Some notable ones: Elder Scrolls 6, January 2nd, 2024. FF7R PC, June 1st, 2022. And Gear 6, November 11th, 2022. We'll update this thread with more. Dates are likely placeholders, but may still give a general idea of estimated time of arrival." Now, with the initial tweet, he put a couple images with it. 2 lists, one for Xbox, one for PlayStation. The Xbox list, in comparison, is just absolutely massive. And looking at that list for the Xbox games, the only one that would even interest me that we haven't already talked about would be the new Fable game, Fable 4, which it says is coming out in October 2023. But if you want to look at the Final Fantasy related like release dates and stuff, you actually got to go to the website. Now, I think the initial website was like github.com or something like that. That's been taken down, but there is an archived version. So if you're coming over to the archive, you can scroll down to the F section. You can see Final Fantasy VII Remake, Final Fantasy IX Remake, Final Fantasy Origin, Tactics Remaster, Final Fantasy 16, which of course all have release dates. Which, according to these dates, 3 out of 4 of these games would be out by April of next year, which is why I do think that they are definitely like placeholder or speculative dates. Because I cannot see Final Fantasy IX Remake, Tactics, Remake, Remaster, whatever that's supposed to be, and also Final Fantasy Origins all being out by April of next year without like any real build-up, other than Origins. Obviously, that's had like trailers and gameplay and stuff. The other 2 games haven't even been revealed yet, and they would be out by like March or April. Doesn't seem likely. The Final Fantasy 16 release date of 2023 is a little worrying, dude. Like, if I hope that is just them spitballing a date, because if that game's not out by next year, like, holy shit, dude. Like, what are we doing? If 16's not out in 2022, that'd be fucking ridiculous, man. It'd be super annoying. Wouldn't put it past them to reveal it so early and it not come out for 2, 3, 4 years. But still, it'd be so goddamn stupid. And if that does end up being the case, then I'd probably put Remake Part 2 coming out even later than that, because a lot of people, I mean, we're kind of back and forth with it. We've had a lot of discussions here on the channel, but, you know, I tend to believe that Part 2 is going to come out after 16. But if 16 is not coming out to 2023, does that mean that Part 2 is coming out next year, 2022, or does that mean it's coming out goddamn 2024? Now, when it comes to the legitimacy or the credibility of this, the thing that kind of tips me off for these dates being either speculative or like placeholder dates is the fact that a lot of them are on the first of a lot of months. Again, going back to the Final Fantasy games, a lot of these are on like April 1st and like March 1st and stuff like that. Remake coming to PC, that's like June 1st. There's just too many games, if you go down this list, that have coincidental dates, if that makes any sense, the first of a certain month. That seems pretty odd to me. When you look at placeholder dates for games and stuff, usually it's December 31st of whatever year. So for this year, it'd be December 31st, 2021. If a game's supposed to come out sometime in 2022, the placeholder date generally would be December 31st, 2022. So maybe you can do the opposite of that, do like the first of certain months or something like that. I don't know. Never seen it before. But what is interesting, though, if you go down this list, a lot of these games have random-ass dates. Some of them are on the 25th of a month, the 15th of a month, the 12th, the 2nd of a month, stuff like that. Like, very oddly specific. Like, I could see, due to a placeholder date being the 1st, or the 31st, or the 30th. Like, those make sense for speculation or for placeholder dates, but why would you speculate that a game's going to come out on December 12th of 2022? That's just so very precise and specific. It just doesn't make any sense. Almost like it's release date. So when it comes to this massive Nvidia leak, I don't know what all's been like confirmed yet, because we had the massive leak before, and then now we have release dates. I don't know if anything has been confirmed yet, but if nothing has, then we kind of just have to wait until something gets confirmed. Which means it might be a few months before anything is confirmed, but if there's something that has like a 2022 release date, we kind of have to wait till that happens. And if that ends up being accurate, it adds a lot of credibility to the overall list itself. I do think overall with this list, a lot of it is probably speculation. But with some of the really precise dates, like maybe some of those could be accurate, or at least were accurate as the time that the information went up on the website. Maybe they could change that because of this leak. They might push the game back or something like that. When it comes to stuff like the 9 remake and the Tactics remake / remaster, we don't know what those are supposed to be yet. Is the 9 remake like legitimately a 9 remake similar to FF7 remake? Is it going to be hyper realistic with these insane graphics, or are they going to do like a chibi style something, kind of cartoony like the original game was, to where it's not this like massive game that took a long time to develop? Because there's no way that game's coming out in a handful of months from now if it's like a Final Fantasy VII remake style game. There's just no like hyper build for it yet. Like if they're gonna take a game like Final Fantasy IX and give it the remake treatment from the ground up, maybe a couple of releases over the span of however many years, like that's gonna have at least a year or more of marketing, right, before they even release the damn thing. But if it's like a kind of a fun little side project, a better graphics version of the original 9, they could reveal that a couple months ahead of time and then release it. I know because of this leak with the release dates, some of these games coming out potentially early 2022, a lot of people are looking forward to Game Awards. That's kind of the big thing right now. Tokyo Game Show happened, these PlayStation Experience or State of Play or whatever happened recently. Nothing has been revealed, so everybody's kind of looking forward to Game Awards, and hopefully we get something. I just want them to confirm 9 Remaster, Remake, whatever that is, and the Tactics Remake, Remaster, whatever that is. Like, reveal those things, confirm those things, let us know what those are, because I'm very, very interested. Anyways, dudes, that is pretty much the video. I'll have the archived webpage like linked in the description below if you want to scroll through the list. It's pretty big. It's not 18,000 big. It's not every game that was leaked previously having release dates, but it's still a pretty big list. Either way, my dudes, that's the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys aren't interested in more Final Fantasy VII Remake content, 9 Remake, Tactics Remaster, whatever the hell else, man. GeForce, Nvidia stuff. I don't know. Turn on notifications. Follow me on Twitter, dashingdavidbusiness. I'm on Discord. Links to the networks are in the description. And in the outro. Later, guys.
Used to care what people thought, but now I care more, and nobody out here's got it figured out. So therefore I've lost all hope of a happy ending, depending on whether or not it's worth it. So insecure, no one's perfect, we spend it with no shame. We blow that like Coltrane, we in here like low gain, or leave it like Cobain.